here. This is going to be an interesting hour, y'all. If you're really into Wax, and Waffles, are you the one sharing the thing? I think I want to screen share and show just what we have. Get rid of the banner. If you're deep into Wax and you know how block producers work and how the whole blockchain works, then you probably are going to know a lot of the stuff on here. But it's another perspective from the people that are involved with those things. If you are not that, if you are maybe you're brand new to, maybe you're a Hive person and you don't know much about Wax, or the reason we chose this is there are a lot of Wax users who are surface level, a lot of Funko collectors and others that they have a Wax account, they buy something from the drops or the market. That's about it. So what we're doing here, we're going to split the hour. It's not going to be a panel the way that he did the questions. It's going to be more like the AMA streams that we've been doing, a casual talk, okay? But with the panelists, where we can go back and forth about the topics instead of just one to the next person. We're going to go one topic to the next, and it could be like a conversation. Any one of the panelists here it will be able to chip in. But before we start on those topics and choose the lineup, let us have a little intro. That's right. I mentioned your names to get your mic on, but if you give us a little blurb about who you are and what you do and why we picked you. I mean, all you guys are the leaders of a platform except for Alcie, so you're going to tell us like how you're involved with the voting and stuff. So starting with Tommy from Wax, how's it going? And who are you?
Everybody, I am Tommy from Wax. My webcam working?
Yeah, we see you.
All right, I'm an operations manager for the Wax blockchain. Just usually helping build teams and just keeping the wheels on as we travel down this highway. I'm also the primary admin for the Wax Hub ambassador program as well. So you see a lot of my energy is spent between that and just helping with everything else around the office.
Fantastic.
Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. How about AlcieToo? We got you over here. If you wanted to put your cam on, it's the bottom, the little webcam at the bottom, but you don't need to.
I'll keep it off for now.
Avatar looks great. All right, who are you?
I'm AlcieToo. So I joined Wax, not Wax, the organization, but the blockchain in 2021, like mid-year. I've always been interested in researching different projects and things just in general in life. So naturally, that's kind of the direction I moved into when I came into the blockchain. I've been part of quite a few communities, helping to build them up, but kind of doing my own thing right now. So yeah, but governance, OIG, like everything about block, and I have my own proxy as well. So I'm very excited about this topic.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it is. Yeah, having you all here together to talk about stuff that we normally talk about on our own, but now we're going to do it in kind of a noob-friendly, I guess, a course, a little noob-friendly talk about an intro, a walkthrough from the start. I think this is great. All right, so who's next? We got Zzullerr here. You're a little bot. You can turn on cam, but you don't got to. Say hello. Who are you, Zzullerr?
Hey guys, how are you doing? I am having some problem with the camera and even trying to customize my character, but
it's okay. Here. You do need an account to get it to save, but it's all good. You're good. We hear you.
I was having. I think it is a problem with the Brave browser. But let me introduce myself. I am the community manager for Alcor.exchange. I am also a member of the Alcor Guild, which is the top 21 node producer on the Wax blockchain. I'm a blockchain enthusiast, and lately, for quite some years, I have been creating educational content on X about Wax and crypto in general.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thanks for joining the panel. And you've been around Wax for a bit. It's awesome. One of the Wax influencers out there, really putting a lot of great Wax content out there. Everybody go follow Zzullerr. And then we have Ben from NFT Hive here. He got the cam working. Look at that avatar. Look at that hat. Looking good. How's it going, Ben? Who are you and what do you do around here?
Hi, I'm Ben. I'm the founder of NFT Hive, a marketplace on the Wax blockchain. I also created waxmarketcap.com, which is a little collection analytics site, tracking collection volume, and token volume, and kind of that stuff that's interesting. I've been on Wax for quite some time. I had a site called Waxplorer before. That was a little search engine for NFTs back when we were mostly on simple assets. When NFTs were listed on different marketplaces, you could use Waxplorer to find them and compare offers. And I'm also running a blog producer on Wax. So yeah.
Boom. So yeah, we got a nice angle coming there for multiple topics, blog producer and the marketplace. All right. So what we want to cover today, and we only have 50 minutes. It's not going to be like we're not going to switch at a certain time. We're just going to try to go through each one, and then towards the end, kind of a AMA about the whole thing. Okay. We're going to start with the Wax Cloud Wallet. The Wax team. This is from Tommy. I don't know if I'm going to, maybe I'll screen share and show some of the wallet, but why don't you tell us, let's pretend we're a complete noob. We don't know what Wax is. Maybe we know crypto in like getting your keys like in ETH or whatever, which is just a lot different. Or maybe you're a Web 2 person, you don't know anything, and you just want to start collecting these things you see on the internet. So where would I start to try to do that?
Everybody, so I would obviously tell everybody to start at mycloudwallet.com and sign up for a Wax Cloud Wallet, of course. Cloud Wallet is a custodial wallet, so you don't need to worry about managing the keys. This is something that we find that if you're not very well versed in crypto, you're not used to managing the keys, or maybe you just don't want to take the time to have it be the ultimate, like if you lose the key, you're done, right? You can just, be able to interact with the different games, with the different projects, collect art, and whatever you want to do without having to worry about that. It makes it a little bit easier. One of the other benefits of the Wax Cloud Wallet was, of course, that you could log in with a multitude of different socials as well, as like whether it be Google or Discord, etc. It makes it a little bit easier to log in. You don't have to remember as many passwords. And when you're getting into the habit of getting more familiar with these types of games and projects, what you're into, you can auto sign some of these transactions, so you're not spending as much time clicking the button. You can just click once and it's like, all right, I trust this game, we can keep going through with it. You can sign up with an email or a social, like I mentioned. It's pretty simple, and hopefully soon we'll be able to be releasing or removing the paywall of 5 WAXP to get you started with a blockchain account. One thing we changed a little while ago, I think Mike kind of alluded to this earlier, was we decoupled the creation of the Wax Cloud Wallet from the blockchain directly. So you can create a Wax Cloud Wallet and explore the ecosystem of the games. You can check things out without necessarily needing to have a blockchain account yet, depending on how the project sets up. So it's kind of allows you to do a multitude of different things. And then maybe you're someone who's not new and you like taking control of your keys. You can add keys to your wallet and take it out of the custodial status as well. So you can have full control. And you can use other blockchain software for that. I use Anchor. That's the primary one I mess with. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Anchor is the version that does give you the keys. So it's like a lot of people are using that as well. The Wax Cloud, like he said, it streamlines it. It makes it look like it's a Web 2 thing where you're just signing in with an account. It works really well for the new people that don't know what's going on. But yeah, let's continue. Once you're in the account, you're creating it with a space, like you just showed it for a split second, but you're creating an account with a social or an email, like any online account. All right. And then we're in here. I'm in a wallet. Hopefully there's no, oh, we got even the hidden eyes so we could stream it, but it's all public blockchain, right? Usually. You see like this homepage with all the stuff, all right? And then to do actions using your wallet, of course, we're going to use other platforms, things like buying NFTs and whatnot, and we're going to get to that. But here in the blockchain wallet, before you do that, before you get your actual, see, that's just the wallet. Before you actually activate it, whenever you create your first account, that won't be, it'll say create blockchain wallet. So what they've done is they created a Web 2 account and you can tell us before you do that. What are you able to do before you activate the account? Anything at all, or are you just like in here?
Depends on the game.
It
Depends on the
depends
game, right? So one of the things with, especially with like the Amazon Prime giveaways and stuff we were doing, you click on, or through the Epic Game Store, right? You click on this, you set up an account, almost like just like an identity, and you're not connected to the blockchain yet. If you want to try out for, I'll use Brawlers as the example, because the one I'm most familiar with. If you want to try out Brawlers, you can sign up for a cloud wallet account, not make a blockchain account, and get free assets, free to try assets to play the game and explore if this is something you want to, like, is this something you're really going to get into? Is this something that maybe that you want to try something else? But you don't have to take the time to figure out how to go from an exchange to fund your wallet and all that stuff. So it helps remove that one more barrier for people who are new or maybe not as savvy.
Excellent. So some things you can do, other things not so much. Mostly us on WAX, we have the wallet. We got past the activation. We're using it to actually buy and trade NFTs, and maybe not even any further. Maybe we're not staking and playing games, but we're at least doing that. We at least we have our wallet. Okay, so let's say you don't have your wallet yet, and you click create blockchain wallet. You're gonna get a paywall. You're right, and you're saying you're gonna find a way to get rid of it. The reason is bots. It just gets manipulated hardcore when it was a free wallet. It's just a 5 WAX paywall. It's just it's very cheap. But if you're new, where are you getting 5 WAX at? Where you got to find a WAX person to send it to you. So, but WAX does have promo codes though, and we are helping people with a promo code. But it is exciting to know that you're doing whatever you can to get rid of that while also avoiding the manipulation, because when that happens, and if they're able to just get in there and instantly have it, it's just going to get rid of that little barrier that anyone that's new would probably walk away once they see that. They don't know where to get it.
I think a lot of people here would probably agree that if you can make things easier for people, they're more likely to stick. They're more likely to stick around, just to make another 3 more clicks, right? Rather than just leaving. Right? And that 3 more clicks might be leading them to like your new project or something really cool that they would have missed otherwise if they were turned off, or if they ran into friction, like you mentioned.
Yeah, and people are saying WAX is so easy. Compared to ETH, like the others, it is for a new person way easier. There's just that little, that would be another little step to get them already going without trying to find WAX. But the way the whole dashboard is set up, how easy it is to just start your account and just to get in there, where it's custodial, and you don't have your keys and all that until you know more about it and want to. That's all good stuff. Also, Dan Esker, don't forget, Atomic Hub allows 1 free wallet. So there's different platforms and stuff that are to help with that too. But then it's like iJet says, what's the best way to allow dozens of clients to get their initial 5 WAX to open a cloud wallet? See, that opens the door to the issue. How do we get our community to get in there? So that answer is probably with Tommy, like they're working on getting rid of it. So you don't have to go into detail of when and how. We're going to keep going, but it's going to be improved, and they're trying to streamline it and make it even smoother for everybody. All right. So let's say you have a blockchain wallet, and now you're ready to do stuff, and we're going to go into what stuff you can do with your marketplaces and your tools and all that. But what is the blockchain? The blockchain is decentralized, right? You guys know a little bit, the proof of work, the proof of stake. So let's talk about WAX. Let's say without the actual actions that you're doing, let's talk about what's making it all possible. So you get in here and it's not free. It's not like an actual website where you can just click and click and click. You need what we call resources: CPU, RAM, and net. And before we even talk about what that is and how you use it, let's start with even a back pedal with the block producers. And it doesn't matter who really chips in here. I mean, this is casual here. Tommy, or maybe probably better would be NFT Ben, or even Zzullerr knows a lot, or Alcie. So you have whoever wants to go first. Maybe Alcie. Let's go with Alcie. Can you give us a nutshell of like how it actually, how does the proof of stake, the delegated proof of stake system kind of work together with block producers to where it is decentralized, but it's proof of stake and it makes everything happen so efficiently using these resources. Why do I need this RAM and this CPU?
So Ben would actually probably be a better
Okay.
person to answer this, but yeah, Wax is a delegated proof of stake network. All of the block producers or validators, they validate the blocks as there's each transaction that happens as it happens, and then kind of like a round robin, they just pass from one to the other in a continual circle of validating the transactions. But for like the resources on the accounts, if you're going to be engaging with any of the games or the marketplaces, definitely you need to have CPU. You need RAM, especially if you're listing a lot on marketplaces. RAM is kind of like your memory, I guess, or like how much you're using on the chain at that time. But if you have a lot on the marketplace, it takes a lot of RAM if you're doing a lot of trading. But once you like settle that transaction, you get the RAM back. Um, CPU is just like any kind of transaction to be able to utilize the blockchain. Um, you need to have CPU, and there are like we have power up now that you can buy with RAM or with Wax some CPU to be able to transact. But it's a lot better than it was a couple of years ago. We had to have a lot of CPU in order to complete transactions. But yeah, I guess
Yeah,
I'll pass it
interesting.
pass it over to Ben to speak
Oh,
more to that.
yeah. So
Yeah.
like when I started, they in a quick nutshell, they explained that RAM is like your data that you have in your wallet. That's in order to hold those NFTs, you need that little database. And then if you burn them, you get rid of them. Now you don't need it anymore. Where CPU is to do the transactions and the big difference here, before I hand it to Ben, but the big difference is RAM you're buying, but you can get it back when you're burning. You're buying it though. And then you can get the RAM back when you spend it, depending on like your burns. CPU, you're staking, and that's actually more like Hive, which we'll talk to later. But you're staking your wax, and that allows the things to work. We'll let Ben explain how. But then in doing that, you're earning a reward, and a lot of people don't know this. And you're using a vote button that's inside here. So Ben, if you could give us a nutshell of block producers, what is their job? And then when people are staking and they're voting, how does that make everything work?
All right. Yeah. Maybe wanted to talk about the resources
Okay, yeah,
a
sure.
little bit
Anywhere
more
you want to start.
because
Yep.
block producers are actually physical servers where we run the blockchain on, right? So they operate like any other computer. They have CPU in the machine. They have physical RAM, that is the memory of the computer, and they also have they are also in a network, and that's what you need a net for. Net can actually, if you have to stake resources, you can mostly neglect net, because that is actually the bandwidth in that you need for a transaction. For example, they are just a few bytes every time you send a transaction, and the block producers have enough bandwidth to send these transactions from one another. You mostly need CPU, because that is actually using the processor of the block producers to execute a transaction, to interact with a smart contract, and you need CPU to calculate what's happening, executing something, changing something on the blockchain. That can, depending on the operation, sometimes be very CPU heavy, and therefore your stake is mostly best placed in CPU. And RAM is basically the entire blockchain state is in the physical RAM of a block producer. That means every node that you spin up has the entire blockchain state in its RAM, and that's all the smart contract tables, everything that's happening on the chain, every information that is stored is in that RAM, and different users share different amount of the physical RAM that exists. It's a limited resource, and therefore that's the best way of purchasing it. Actually spending money. The rarer RAM gets, the more expensive it will become. What we're doing on Wax right now is that we're increasing RAM bit by bit so that it doesn't get too expensive. So at some point in the future, it might be that we have to physically increase the RAM that we need on these machines. Right now, everybody is fine with working with 128 gigabytes of RAM. In the future, we might have to increase it to 265, which is something that, for example, Solana is already using. So yeah, what are block producers? We are the guilds that run the network, that bring all the transactions to the blockchain. And yeah, we are, there's a voting mechanism where you can vote for the different block producers, but we are mostly evaluated by a council that's called the OIG, that's the Office of Inspector Generals, that just checks how our servers are performing and giving us points based on that. So if our performance is really good, we're getting points, we're getting a score, and that score is written onto the blockchain. And you can, for example, use your wallet, the cloud wallet, go to voting, and then delegate your vote to the OIG, which then gives the vote according to the ranking that we have. Sorry if that's a bit nerdy and all, but that's technically how it's all working.
No, that's awesome. A bit nerdy. It's technically how it works. That's right. No, that's awesome. The block producers, they have the actual servers, and they're doing. It's kind of like the mining, but without a whole bunch of electricity doing math problems. That's how I was introduced to crypto, right? This is through a voting system.
Exactly.
A voting system. This doesn't destroy the environment through math problems.
If you paid attention to Hive before, it's like a similar system, like delegated proof of stake. It's very efficient. We don't have to fight for calculating some hash in the fastest amount of time. We do the transaction as efficient as possible, and that's why delegated proof of stake chains are as efficient as they are.
Yeah. So and we're not going into like off of Wax Cloud right now. We probably don't have time because you can do all this on the actual blockchain website, Wax Blocks, and you're not on any account can do it there, and you're doing it there too. You're buying the RAM, so whatever. But are in the voting too. But here I'm using Wax Cloud because this is the new one that people use. This is the one where you don't have your keys. So you see, I'm in here. I click staking rewards. I click stake, vote, and earn, and then I have stake here. Ooh, look at this Wax. Yeah, man, this is NFTOPIA. So and I can stake how much ever I want in my CPU and my net, or I can buy the RAM, which wouldn't be here. It'd be under resources to buy RAM. The blockchain tells you when you're out. Actually, it tells you right here.
Looks like you have too much stake on net.
Doesn't it tell you the like the resource? Let's see it now. Like how
you
much
have only 25 Wax staked, but it's still at 0% usage.
Yeah. Well, the net we never use. Everyone doesn't use net, right? You stake like a couple Wax to that. I don't know what that part is used for. Can you do a quick?
It's actually the words or the size of the transaction. So if you want to write a book to the blockchain and do it every 5 seconds, then you need more net. But for daily transactions, which just contain sending one Wax or whatever, that doesn't require a lot of net information.
Yeah. But if you do a lot of heavy transactions, you're going to need a lot of CPU. If you're playing games that require a lot of constant transactions, you need to have a lot of CPU. That doesn't mean it costs money. Quick example before, I see Tony want to say something. Quick example, the game Terraformers from T-Break, who has a booth here. His game is completely on-chain. He did that on purpose. He wants his game to be 100% on-chain. Every single move you do which is as rapid as a normal game online. Boom, 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 boom. Every one of them is a Wax transaction. Wax allows it to happen because it's that good. But you need a lot of that CPU staked. But he tells you none of it costs because you can get it back. In fact, you're earning extra Wax by staking. You're getting free Wax by staking, but you need to have a kind of a little bank if you do things like big games. Now, if you're only doing some trading, then you don't need much at all as a noob. But that's kind of how that works. And then if you're holding a lot of NFTs and stuff, then it's going to tell you need RAM. But the thing tells you when you're out. It'll tell you, hey, I need more. You go and do more. Did you want to say something before we go into voting, Tommy?
I was just going to mention that for new folks, I almost always tell them like a 10-to-1. Like if you have 11 WAXP, you would stake 10 in CPU and 1 in net. I've had maybe half of a WAXP staked to the account that I use the most for years, and I've never run out of net unless I tried to unstake everything at once. So I think that's a good half a wax. Start with half a wax, because one of the cool features of when you're staking is like when you unstake, you've got a 72-hour cooldown before you get that back.
Yeah. So
I'll let you go into it.
You can stake instantly, boom, but then to get your Wax back, it'll take 3 days to unstake and get it back. So there's not people doing it like this, whatever kind of things that does. Yeah. But you can get it back in 3 days. Now I'm in here, and let's talk about that. So let's say I staked my CPU. Now what does that mean, and how do I vote with that? And basically, tell us what that means. The more CPU I have staked, the more Wax I have, the higher voting power, or no? How does that play in?
Not necessarily, right? So you have a couple things, right? If you have more WAXP staked, you would probably get a larger reward.
You get a bigger reward. Okay.
You put more up, you get more back, right? But vote strength is going to be something that you've got to kind of pay attention to on a weekly basis, right? I believe it resets on Saturday at midnight UTC. But once a week, you're going to want to vote. As long as you vote once per week for at least 16 guilds or block producers, you'll be able to keep your vote strength up at 10. If you don't want to take the time to research all of the block producers, if you don't care, you can do what's called a proxy vote, where you can proxy your vote, which is instead of voting yourself and choosing, you pick someone in the community who's knowledgeable, who's done the legwork for you already, and they've already set up their votes, and you can just give your vote strength to them. It's almost like a electoral college that we have here in the States.
Yeah.
We all vote.
Oh yeah,
vote,
that's right.
Right.
All right.
So kind of like that, but kind of is, but it kind of is not.
Let's jump into that. So it's not the amount of Wax you have staked. The whales are not getting higher voting power, right? So it's how much you're getting in here and voting, or it's more complicated.
Strength. Your vote strength, it is going to come out. So if you have more, I mean, if you're building a project, say, and you have put in 10,000 WAXP, you should have maybe a little bit more of a vote than someone who comes into your project and only is not willing to really contribute as much. So in that way, it can reward people who have more versus less. But everyone can vote and choose who their favorite guilds are.
So you go in here and you see here stake, vote, and earn, and it's telling me how much my vote strength, my percent, right? And then I'm getting rewards for this. I'm actually getting a nice APR too. What is it, 8%? And you're getting that back, and you can claim it at any time based on how much you have staked and your voting power. If you're sitting on 0, then it's not going to do it. How do you bring this to 100? You literally pick a block producer and you vote for them. You're voting once a week, and it's going to change that to 100%. It's going to make it to where I'm getting the most value. Now, there we go. If I'm a noob and I don't care, or I don't know the block producers or what they do or who to choose, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a proxy, which is somebody else that's doing the work for me. We're voting for somebody else to do the research. All right, so here, this one, xxah4.wam, you got to know which one it is. You click it. Yep. That's AlcieToo. She's a proxy. And then I can hit vote and then approve. And then my thing goes to 100% if I refresh. There's 100%. So now I'm good. So Alcie, won't you tell us kind of your process, if as a proxy, what do you do to do that research to decide on what block producers that you're voting for on a not regularly, but like constantly evaluating. You might be changing your votes depending on how they're performing. So how does that come into play?
So I do. I change my votes from time to time depending on the new guilds that come in, and also just like interacting with the block producers and seeing what they have going on. I'll look at the evaluations that the OIG is completing, and some of them, maybe if they don't meet the requirements and they fall out of the top 21 guilds, I'll drop them. But you can vote for up to 30 guilds. I try to vote for all 30, even though there's only 21 guilds, not guilds. I vote for 30 block producers. Yeah, even though there's only 21 guilds that are there. But I guess it's a little more complicated with the stake weighting on the booking. So technically, and that this would probably never happen, just because the top proxies that are in the system have a huge amount of wax staked towards the 21 guilds that are there, and they're essentially selecting that. But if somebody with a huge amount of wax came in and voted for whoever they wanted, those producers could become in the top. So it is, and especially you will see this when it comes to voting for OIG, like it's about how much wax you have staked towards something to some degree. But yeah, so you have to, if you proxy to somebody, in order to maintain the full strength of your weighting, you have to reproxy every week, like every Saturday. They'll refresh for the week, all the rankings. So that's the best time to do it, to make sure you have the full weighting. You just do the same process that Consumer BreakMan just did, where you go and select a proxy, or you can also vote. I'd say also vote on Saturday if you're going to choose to vote on your own. But in terms of like my research, yeah, I look at the evaluations. I have a spreadsheet where I've gone through and I've looked at the people who are running each of the block producers, what they're doing, if they're validating for other chains as well, what kind of peripherals they have, their technical equipment, to see how reliable they are with validating the blocks during the process. And some of it is also, I guess, probably social, like I don't know, but yeah, mine is maybe subjective in some ways, the way that I choose the people that I vote for, or the block producers I vote for. I don't know if that explains everything, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love that the option is there for all the many people that will not know or want to do that stuff. But hey, if I want to take my part in the blockchain, this is how I do it. I can do the proxies. So before we switch to the next topic, look, like you're as a voter, and people are saying they vote every day and they didn't even know that you only need once a week. You can keep 100% and you only need to do it once a week. Really, I don't even keep tabs when I log in, sometimes I see it's at 94. I put it to 100. That's all. But so not only does this let you literally earn wax based on what you stake, kind of like a savings account, but with 8% APR, and you can claim it at any time that you want, like a waxed out farm. It's like a farm. You can come in here and you can click claim and get your money. So you're getting free wax for participating. And if you're voting for the proxy, someone else is doing the work for you, but you're using your stake to make it work. And then behind the scenes, now hopefully at least a little bit, you're making the whole blockchain work. All of these voting, everybody, all users, that's delegated proof of stake. We delegate to the producers, and we're using our stake to do it. So as you're doing it, you're getting free wax, and also you're being part of the system. And if you're not doing this, then you're you're just over here. You're not voting. It's like U.S. Everyone's, you gotta vote. You gotta vote. If you're not voting, you're not making change. Well, no, you don't have to. But hey, you're also missing out on free wax. Like, that's free. It's boom, there it is. If you don't have it somewhere else tied up, people also use the wax or whatever. If it's staked, it's staked. You can't use it. If you want it back, it's like putting it in a bank account. You'll get 3 days, you have it back. All right. Any questions?
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to add one thing. Like, one thing that I get a lot of questions about with the proxies is whether there's any benefit to me, like whether I'm earning something from
good
all
question.
these people staking to me. And I'm not. No, proxies do not earn any extra rewards or anything from proxying their vote. They're just doing it because they're, whatever their reason is. Mine is because I want to help the community make a good choice or good choices and who they're supporting as block producers or guilds. But other people, maybe they have other reasons for doing it. But yeah, we get the same for whatever we have staked. We get the same 8% in rewards every week. I don't get anything extra for anybody staking to me or proxying to me.
That's awesome. Well, that's a true community member that's doing that.
I think it is also important to. Sorry, man, I'm interrupting.
No, go ahead.
But I think it is very important to mention how everyone voting or even delegating to proxies that are responsible, like Alcie, they're making the chain more secure. It is important to note that the top 21 block producers are the ones who validate all the blocks. So if a bad actor gets into the top 21, well, not only one, but we will need a lot of bad actors to get into the top 21, then they will be able to perform a lot of harm into the blockchain. So really the work that everyone is doing whenever they are proxy into all these accounts that they do research, they make the chain safer and overall a good place for everyone to get to invest and also to have their funds safe. So it is a very important job.
Yeah, that great points on that. Great points. And
Well,
yep. Who else?
the main reason is probably so this chain is pretty safe, but the main reason is probably that you want to have producers with good performance and that are developing products for the chain. So without good voting, we would have a situation like we have on EOS, for example. There are some performance tools where you can actually check different change, like benchmarks. And WAX is doing really good because we have this evaluation that we go through where our hardware is checked. And on EOS, for example, you have the situation that exchanges hold a lot of EOS and then vote for their own block producers, and then they just use a very cheap producer and very cheap additional nodes, and that makes the chain less performant. You can actually compare those values, like how fast is the chain responding to transactions. Compare WAX and EOS, for example, and it's night and day. So what we have, especially with the OIG, is a very good system that makes the WAX a lot better.
Yeah, awesome.
In my opinion.
Great input. Thank you, guys. METAVERSE, for a new person, you don't need to stake, but there are benefits for staking. Well, you need to stake a little to do the transactions. If you're not very active, if you're only going to do a little, then you don't need to stake much at all. But if you do a lot, especially as a creator, being a creator is a whole nother level, which we're not going to get into. You got to do a lot more RAM and stuff. But as a casual user, if you're playing a lot of games, or if you're doing a lot of staking transactions and things, or if you're just trading a ton, then you have to do more stake CPU. But it tells you how much resources like you have and lets you do that.
If I could chime in as well, like between like some of the different platforms that you use throughout WAX or the wallets, like for my cloud wallet, we provide like about enough resources to do about 10 transactions a day, and this is CPU net I'm talking about. So you don't necessarily always need to stake. Like you said, if you're very casual, you're just kind of exploring, you should be able to get your feet wet a little bit as when you're doing a different transaction. And I know that like we have that the boost.wax that we're doing to provide that. And then there's also I think Anchor has something similar as well. So you don't think that you can't at least look around even without having something staked. You know, you can still do a little bit if like you said, power user, stake some wax. You can always unstake it and get it back.
Yeah, that's right. And then you're earning on top. So it's like really at the real, without diving deeper, like if I'm going to vote for the proxy, but I want to maximize, you want to keep everything staked that you're not using, essentially. I mean, if you're using it in games or in other staking places, that's a different story. But if you're holding in your wallet, if it's the wax is in your wallet, you're not spending it because you might want to spend it. Then they're losing out on the free money, and then you're also like we're saying, you're making the whole thing work by participating. It as a whole, it makes it all secure and perform. But on a user level, you're just missing out on free wax if you have like a bag of wax that's, you know, if it's a tiny amount, it's not going to be a whole bunch of earnings. It's 8%, but you're missing that if you don't have it staked. But a lot of people also, they're using it like me. So I still have a bag that's not staked. And if I want to buy NFTs real quick, or maybe I'm not a day trader, I always lose at that. But some people, maybe they want, because you know how the old upswings, downswings go. Maybe if something happens and you got a big one, you want to swap to some USD and take advantage of it. So some people do that. Let's make that a segue, y'all. Also, we got 15 minutes. I wanted to cover a little bit of the marketplaces and the tools of what you're actually doing, not the games themselves, but to do the NFT stuff. But then also, let's go to Zzullerr first with Alcor. Let's say I'm a new user and I want to exchange. And I'm not talking about liquidity farming and stuff. We don't have time for that. You're getting deeper. If you want to go deeper, there's places to go deeper. All right. But if I want to sell my wax, all right, or if I want to buy wax too, but the other way around even more. If I'm into wax and I sold something, and I'm ready to sell it. On two versions, do I want it in my bank so I can use it in my bank, or do I want to take advantage of the cost by swapping to USDT, meaning it's not real money that goes to your bank, but you are able to instantly swap it and it'll keep that value because it's USDT. Can you tell us a little bit about Alcor, and if you wanted to screen share too, did you want to, and just show a little on Alcor?
Maybe if you can help me screen sharing, because I am having some problem with my PC right now.
Okay, I got you. I'll go to Alcor. Yeah, just tell us about it. On the noob side of it, exchanging. How would I get it to my bank? How would I kind of just navigate that part, the exchanging part?
Okay, so in terms of Alcor is a decentralized exchange. In contrast to a centralized exchange, then all the trades are done peer-to-peer. So usually you are able to perform all these transactions without your crypto actually being on a centralized exchange and anyone having it. In terms of USDT, it isn't a native token on WAX blockchain. I think it is worth to mention this. That's why I'm saying USDT is a bridge token from the EOS blockchain. It is bridge using the inter-blockchain communication protocol. So if you really want to hold this USDT, that is the token that we have around and that everyone knows, then you have to bridge it back to EOS. Then what has Alcor done in order to make this process smoother is, if you can head to wallet, brother, then you will see, if you can head to wallet,
Yep.
yeah, right there. Oh, sure, you have to connect.
Okay.
Oh, you don't have USDT. Maybe can you swap one wax to USDT so we can show the tools?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay, I got you. So if I'll go to swap, and what he just said is the USDT, actual USDT is not on Wax, but they have like a Wax version over here, to be short. It's a pegged version, and if I want to buy $1 in Wax, then it tells me what that is, and this is that easy. And then once you have it in USDT on Wax, it's not actual USDT yet. You'd have to bridge it to actually convert, but it acts like it's USDT here, right on Wax. It's pegged to it.
Exactly. So it represents USDT. The problem is that since it is not real USDT, you have to move it over to EOS in order to be able to move it to any centralized exchanges. Now, centralized exchanges are the ones that allow you to move all your assets into a bank in real life. So it is very important to make a contrast between a decentralized exchange and a centralized exchange. Now that you have this USDT version of Alcor, then what you have to do is you can see that you have some different options in contrast to WAX or WUFF. So you have withdraw and deposit. If you click on withdraw, then you will have all this warning first. It says use only Alcor user interface for USDT withdrawal on WAX. Then what you have to do is, since this token is the representation of the token on EOS, what you have to do is you can head to any of your favorite centralized exchanges or the ones that work, for example, crypto.com, for example, Binance, and then you will have to click on deposit crypto. On deposit, you will have to select the network as EOS, and then Alcor has this amazing proxy that what allows you to do is it manages all the transactions within the EOS blockchain, so you don't have to do it. So for example, here, if we want to withdraw this one USDT, then you have to head over first to Binance, for example, put deposit USDT. In the chain, you have to include EOS, and then you just have to copy and paste the SEX deposit address and the SEX memo. In that case, you will be able to get your crypto within 5 minutes, actually.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to go into all that here now. Coinbase is what US uses a lot, and Coinbase has USDT, and also it has EOS. You can actually swap to EOS too and do the same thing, not on USDT, right? But it requires this bridge, just the instructions you just did. I don't think I've ever actually done it. I've never sold wax yet, like all the way to the bank. But
it also works to deposit. So it is also difficult for some people to get wax. So you have the withdraw option and also the deposit option.
Awesome.
For deposit, it is all the way around, but for you to get into wax.
Yeah. I'm not going to demonstrate now, but the fact that you made it a lot more simple than it was before. It was hard to get in the US too. There's a lot of them that aren't available here that are in other places, and we only have like Coinbase and stuff like that, like Binance. And you made a version that does auto bridging, and like you say, in 5 minutes you can convert. That's awesome. I use the USDT EOS to wax bridge today, says Optic Radar. See, people are using it, and the fees too. Like there's other ways, like even like Simple Swap or whatever, but there's fees on all that stuff. So you're doing it like as efficient as possible this way.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the inter-blockchain communication protocol has allowed a lot for WAX and all the chains to be able to be more interconnected. I hope that we can manage to get more initiatives to make these chains more connected in the future.
Mm-hmm. I just say I don't use any centralized exchange. An easy way to swap wax has been the Hive dexes for years. Will it be back there? You mean, what are you swapping to though? Something on Hive? But then how do you sell it to Hive? Because I thought of that too before. Or maybe now it's a lot more easier because they were building things. Maybe it's easy now. I'm not sure. I'm not as versed with Hive, but it's crypto, so there's different methods to do different things. But this is one of the more user-friendly ways for the wax people to do it.
There are a lot of options. You have the inter-blockchain communication protocol. You can also bridge over to Ethereum. You can use Simple Swap, for example, to get into other chains. I know that the WAX team has implemented the Solana bridge, the Base bridge. So overall, there are a lot of ways to get interconnected. As I have always said, the future is cross-chain, and it has been proven that the solution or the way to go is building bridges along the way.
Yeah, exactly. It's getting better. The talks that we just had in the gaming panel and a lot of the AMAs, everybody is embracing trying to connect and bridge crypto with people. It'll only get easier as time goes. So, great.
Exactly.
Here we got 5 minutes left. Let's just do a quick cover of like what we got. 3 major marketplaces that everyone uses, right? You got Atomic Hub, Nifty Blocks, and NFT Hive, and then WaxDAO is also a tool for like farms and stuff. These are platform. These are in Hive they call them front ends. I guess it's the same type of thing. People are building on the blockchain. Anybody can do it. They're using the same system with all the transactions and everything, and they're coding smart contracts is what they're called. It's like code for like anything, any tech thing. It's code, but this uses blockchain. It's called a smart contract, and they're doing that to build platforms that the front end, the people like me that don't do code, I can go into a dashboard and do things. So people build those, like Ben here from NFT Hive has NFT Hive. Maybe you want to tell us a little about that. Let's say I don't know what you want to say, but in NFT Hive, let's say I'm using that. I'm just a regular person. I log here. I can share it. You go into these places and you log in with your Wax Cloud, or I mean your Anchor or whatever, your Wax wallet. You're logging in with your wallet. Then once you're in there, you can do stuff. So if I wanted to go in there and look at the market or buy something, or tell us about that whole process of what you do to like make it easier for people, and also creators. There's a whole nother side to this, the creator side, which like the collection people, which we won't get into, but we use these tools too, big time, to do all the things without code, and these things allow that. So here, I'm going to log into NFT Hive, but if you want to give us anything. Let's see. And Atomic Hub is like the main one that's asset standard, but people are using Nifty blocks too, and the others, and there's different incentives for each one too. Here, NFT Hive, you're earning honey to do different things. So they all have, it's all personal choice, and we actually, over in the Atomic Hub AMA, that was brought up, like, it's all personal choice. How does each one do things differently? How does each one do things the same? Well, that's up to them because they're different companies that are doing it. But, and if, Ben, do you want to just, yeah, just anything, like what, and then inside NFT Hive, which is where we're at, how do things work in here? So I see I'm exploring collection. Let's see, what can I do as an end user in here?
Probably go to the front page first.
Mm-hmm.
We see, yeah, we have drops as well. That's the main thing that we're pushing at the moment. Our specialty are PFP drops, which are actually on-chain generated and evaluated. So we make sure that results are never the same. They got minted onto the blockchain. The image is then rendered outside the blockchain and later added to the NFT. And the results are proven unique, and we have a ranking of all the holders, like the rarities. And for creators, you can set this up very easily in the back end. You can add all the trades, you can add all the images and layers to the trades. You can add blocking rules, like which trade do not work together. For example, if you have laser eyes, you should not have sunglasses on, stuff like that. Yeah, we have built over the last year, mainly when my colleague was still on and the market was a little bit better, the market conditions. We added a lot of creator tools to the site, namely drops, pre-minted packs, crafting. Like you can craft NFTs together in I think the most complex ways that exists on Wax right now. You can have multiple NFTs as ingredients. You can add tokens to the mix. You can add multiple tokens as requirements. You can have multiple outcomes, random outcomes, for example, too. Like you can either get the really good rare item or one of the common ones, or you can even have outcomes where your NFTs just burn. You can set all this up. And NFTs can be locked inside the contract. They can be locked inside other NFTs via crafting. We've done so much stuff there. So anybody, just go ahead and try it out. It's all free if you're a Wax creator. There's no staking requirements or anything.
That's awesome. Yeah, the fact that you and like Bounty Block, so much tools on Bounty Block, and it's all free. The fact that you guys are offering things for us to do just to be able to create our collections. And yeah, I mean, if you're in Wax, you know that we love packs and blends, right? As an example. But what is a pack and a blend? Well, it feels like you're ripping open a real pack of cards. And it feels like you're grabbing two things and you're mashing them together to get something new, right? But all that is transactions. All of this is a smart contract that tells that tells the pack that, hey, this is something that's going to pull something random from over here. And then when they do the transaction, it's going to boop, do the thing. And it'll transfer the random thing here. Or with blends, it's going to tell it to burn the ingredients and then give you the new thing. And so using all these little tools like that, there's so many different combinations of things to be a creator, to allow collections to be creative and make things without code using these dashboards. I'm included. I don't do code, but I use these things. I love them. People love them. And that's just grazing it. That's just some of the few things that can be done here. But like the PFP tool.
Oh,
yeah.
I know we're out of time, but I also just want to mention for the users, the trick on Wax is that all marketplaces share the same basic secondary market listings. So you can trade on any marketplace. You can sell on NFT Hive and buy on Nifty blocks, for example. We have honey tokens that we give out for traders. So we give 1 honey for every wax spent in fees. So if you spend 100 wax, you get 2 honey. And honey is actually currently worth more than wax, which is pretty nice. So you actually get to save all the market fees and get more wax in return if you're using NFT Hive. And one reason why honey is so valuable is that we share our secondary market revenue, 33% of that, with the users that stake honey to our website. So all the honey owners basically earn a share of the market.
Awesome.
And that's our...
That's awesome. Well, hey,
there's more, but yeah.
We've never done a panel like this. It was an idea. We covered a lot in an hour. A lot of people that are watching probably knew a lot of this stuff, but it's cool to see it hashed out in a way, right? And hopefully some of you that are maybe newer or Hive people understand a little bit more now and see the face. That's what's beautiful about AMAs is you hear the voice and see the faces of the people that are making the things happen. So thank you so much, Tommy, for Wax, the part of the Wax team, Wax ambassador. Head. Thanks you for sharing your insight. Ben from NFT Hive about the marketplaces and block producers. Alcie with the voting and the proxies, and Zzullerr with the exchange, Alcor. Thank you all so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for the panel. And thanks
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for putting this all together, BreakMan. Come on now. This has been an awesome event. I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah.